Welcome to a brand new episode of Release Spotlight. We have some pretty cool features for you, including a full release of Ros Mazzani. So make sure to check out all the featured artists. If you're not doing it parallel, make sure to check them out after the episode. So, welcome Crimson Discord to Release Spotlight. This is the first time we have two people of a band here in live interview. How are you doing?
Great,
Yeah, it's great. Great to be here.
Awesome. So, we are going to talk about your song We Don't Talk Anymore. Actually, release date was yesterday, May 28th, correct?
Yep,
that's right.
Cool. So this is a cover of a Cliff Richard hit from the late 1970s. What made you choose this song?
Well, basically what happened is that Wolf and I we like to do covers, and he did chose the Eve of Destruction cover, which we did, and I was playing around with a few songs, and so I used to like pop and Cliff Richard, which was not really Wolf's thing, was it, Wolf?
Not really.
Yeah, he's more of a punk guy.
Nice.
Right.
So anyway, so I thought, do you know what? I'll grab the guitar and I'll just have a bit of a rock and roll to it. Add a bit of a rock and roll flavour. So I played a little demo, recorded it, and I said, "What do you think of this?" And he goes, "Yeah, that sounds like a song." And I go, "It should." It's actually a song by Cliff Richard. So yeah, so that's my love of him. But he was so poppy and light and fluffy, and I like the lyrics, but I wanted to do something a bit harder with it.
Yeah, tune it down, give it more power.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I don't think we did we? No. But yeah, it's what if Status Quo would have played We Don't Talk Anymore? This is the result of that, I reckon.
So you guys describe yourselves as providing classic rock style. The great rock opening sounds like classic Status Quo, as you said. Was that what you're looking for?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, so when we're going to do a cover, Wolf will go, "Well, what style?" He has a default style, which he says every time. And what's that?
Well, ska punk, of course.
Yeah, he wants to put a backbeat on everything. And I said, how about Status Quo? Let's do it like a Status Quo cover, covering Cliff Richard. And so with that idea, away he went.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of months later, and he came up with a demo of the track, and I was blown away, actually.
I just had a listen to your song, and I think you did a pretty good job with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you already had several singles out in 2021. Can we assume that your next album is getting close to release date, or you want to get a few more singles out there?
Well, we are planning on getting a few more singles out before an album, actually. We have not set a date yet for the album, but it will arrive probably this year.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
We've got a few songs in the can. Couple ready to go. just doing some, redoing some of the cover images and a little bit of fine tuning. But so as Will says, towards the end of the year, we'll probably work on some album only songs that we definitely won't release as singles.
Mm.
And once we've got a certain number to satisfy Root Note's monetary obligations, then we'll package them all up and be out there. Definitely.
Yep.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. So now for Release Spotlight, we're gonna have a listen to your new song, We Don't Talk Anymore. Enjoy and buy all those cool Crimson Discord t-shirts.
Oh, you got it.
We are talking to Dangerline. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are really stoked to have all of you here on the shows from time to time. And you just released a new song, and this song has much bigger acoustic element to your music than usual, which makes it a bit more intimate. As you tell the story, are you singing the song to someone in particular?
I suppose there's two sides to your question. My music is actually very split between my acoustic and my electric. So, in fact, most of the songs I write are on the acoustic, and then moved over to electric once they're shaped. But recently, the gigs we've been getting are all pretty much outside venues because of COVID. No one was allowed inside in the UK, and they were very much acoustically driven gigs. And it just when Mick and the bassist and I were practicing photograph collection, it just sounded so fresh on the acoustic. So I thought, let's do it acoustically. I think it appeals to a slightly different market as well. So it widens the audience a little bit, you know. In regard to who it was written for, I had a girlfriend who was just a photography fanatic, and she wherever she went, she was taking photographs. And I had to send her away for quite a long time. So I wrote the song while she was away, and it was kind of like looking at all her photography and all her photographs was, do you know what? I want to be the enlargement in your photograph collection. So it was a two-sided story, one about sending her away and her coming back, and the other just about I want to be that enlargement, you know?
So it's a pretty personal song.
Very much. So, yes, yeah.
By the way, I love the guitars in your background and the homemade shed you're in. Is that your basement?
Yeah, this is my studio. It is my shed. I've spent quite a bit of time putting a lot of soundproofing in it, etc. And this is where it all happens. This is where the majority of our recording happens. You mentioned some of the guitars. That gets done by Stephen Peacock, who is our studio guitarist, but he's based in the United States. And just, with modern technology, it's so easy. I send him a song, and he used to tour with me in South Africa a lot. He's done hundreds of gigs with me. So he knows my sound. He knows what I like. So a lot of the guitars you are hearing his work.
Nice. So There's a lengthy opening with over 30 seconds before you start singing in your new song. I've been told in the past that 8 seconds is too long, so are you worried you might lose some casual streamers, or do you think the train announcements bring people into the story, so it is better to have the slow intro?
Well, I've heard we live in a 3-second society, so you've got to catch people's attention really fast, and nothing presents that more than social media. And I know it myself when I'm scrolling through. If it doesn't catch me, I'll go, you know. But I think where's the point where we compromise our sound to fit into some kind of box? And I'm personally a big fan of good intros and nice intros. And that was part of the reason I put the train announcements in, is it starts straight away with the train announcements. And it's catching some kind of attention, I believe. It's a journey I've done hundreds of times from Victoria Station to Brighton. And for me, it just rings out, and I just like that announcement. I think it fits the song really nice. I think it fits the theme of the song really well. So I'm not particularly worried about it. You know, music is very subjective, and I've sent it to the song to a lot of bloggers, a lot of playlisters. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, you know, like half of them will come back and say, we really liked the instrumental, but we didn't like the vocal. And the other half will be completely the opposite and say the vocal was great, but we weren't that taken by the instrumental. So it's really subjective.
Yeah.
And you got to stay true to yourself. So some people are going to like it. You are going to lose some along the way. I think that's just the nature of making music, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So that initially was my intent of making music. I make music for myself, and if anybody else enjoys it, it's nice.
It's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Finally, I can see your new track fitting in perfectly to a live set between some more high energy tracks. Do you see Spotify as a separate area, or is it really important in showcasing your work when approaching venues? Do you mainly look at YouTube videos or live work, or listen to Spotify?
It's a very interesting question. I find when trying to get gigs, definitely people will look at your following, and it's something you need to sell yourself on. So when you're selling yourself to a venue, we do have a good following. Look at our YouTube following, look at our Spotify following. Ultimately, the proof is always in the pudding, you know. So hopefully your reputation precedes you. And it did start happening in my previous band, The Menace. It was a cover band. And we had to scratch to get the gigs, but once we got them, we always got invited back. So the first part of the question is the venues vary. Some will look at YouTube, some will look at Spotify, some won't. They'll just look at your reputation. And then in terms of actually streaming services, I spend a lot of time in the car with my daughter, and she dominates my sound in the car. So I never get to listen to what I want to. But she listens to some really amazing music, which wouldn't always be my personal taste. Yet it's slower. There's various different types of elements to it, which would never fit in a live set, but it's really doing well on Spotify. So I think streaming services definitely have their place, and you can release something that's really like guns to the wall, or something really mellow. There's a place for every bit of music on the streaming services.
Absolutely. So with that said, let's have a listen to your new song.
And I know that when you return, there's so much I want to learn about the things that you've seen and the feelings that it brings. And if you've been missing me, I just don't wanna be a part of your photograph collection. Everything I do or say is done for your protection. Loving you was made for me, can be no higher election. I wanna be the
Hey guys, welcome to New Artist Spotlight. My name is India Dupriez and I'll be answering some questions for you today. Who do you get your voice compared to? I often get my voice compared to artists like Tate McRae, Billie Eilish, Christina Aguilera, crazy awesome artists, which is obviously so flattering. How was your experience working with big name producers? I have never walked into a room and not felt 100% supported and included. I can't say enough nice things about all the people that I've worked with. Tell us about Ghost. Ghost is a song that I wrote about this guy who had told me after our breakup that he never really got over the entire situation and that basically he just couldn't replace, what I could give him emotionally. And that's just a really powerful thing once you own what you've got and your strengths, your individuality, then those things really shine. Why was there a gap between Holding On and Ghost, and was COVID a main issue? So COVID wasn't really what was preventing me from releasing songs sooner, but for me it was more important to find what my sound was while I was writing new music and producing new music. It was just really important for me to find what that was so that I was releasing stuff that was up to date and true to who I am. COVID didn't play much of an impact on that. I could still, use the internet to try and contact these people and try and get stuff done. It's obviously not as easy, but in this industry and in most industries, you just kind of have to make do with what you've got. Tell us plans for the future. So I'm just having a really big release year this year, and I'm so excited to just keep releasing more music and keep writing and keep finding new inspiration in everyday life so that I can keep giving music that's up to date and genuine to who I am. Hopefully I'll be doing more live gigs once things start opening up a bit more, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. Thank you guys so much for having me on New Artist Spotlight.
Do you think that you let it go? And my girls will never leave you alone. Baby, wait when you think that she's getting close. It's up in smoke. And maybe only one of us was ready. But baby, you let me down. You say I like taking it to the extreme. So you're gonna feel it now. Wait till I snap it, I'm the ghost. Yeah, you see me everywhere that you go. And I love it, I'm the one you hate the most. Sitting pretty while I'm putting on a show. Like a ghost, then I'm the
Stay is Patrick McCarthy's first single of 2021 and has been eagerly anticipated. After all, Heartbreak was a great success and NAS artists will know it as a regular in the NAS Top 20. The chorus is strong and easy to remember. Did this come first and you wrote the rest of the song around it, or did it flow from the first verse?
In writing Stay, I actually started with the music for the chorus. I had taken a music production class last summer with Blanks, and one of his biggest tips was to start with the most involved part of the song first, or what he called the thickest part. So I started adding layers until I felt it was complete. Next, I stripped everything away from the first verse forward and started building as the song progressed. It wasn't until this point that I started focusing on the melody and the lyrics.
The song is really well produced and starts with just the opening guitar before adding layers throughout the opening verse. How long did it take to record, and did you record all the parts yourself?
The opening guitar part actually came towards the end of the process. I just wanted a little more glue for the whole piece. I've actually used this approach to songwriting for the past year, and I have enjoyed the results. Although I'm getting stronger at mixing, I did send this out to Mixtape Studios in Alexandria, Virginia for mixing and mastering. I played or programmed everything on it, and it took probably about 3, maybe 4 months to put the whole thing together.
What are your plans for the rest of the year?
As far as what's next, I'm slowly trying to finish what I consider an 80s inspired album. I'm hoping to continue that until I have about 10 songs. I'm very thankful that I just came across New Artist Spotlight so that I could share my music and be a part of a creative community. Thanks.
When did we last see the sun of a genuine sympathy? Can we find a way back to a chorus line empathy? Have to wait pretty hard for a sacrament reverie. Not so much for a brutal pedigree. But I hope you'll stay. Stay all night. I hope you'll stay. Yeah, stay all night. I hope you'll stay way back. Yeah, stay all night. I hope you'll stay way back. Yeah, stay all night.
Hello and welcome, Ros Mazzani, to New Artist Spotlight Release Spotlight. How are you doing?
Hello, fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine. So you're just one part of the group.
Yes.
But according to regulations, we have to do this this way. So anyway, welcome to the show. And we are going to talk about your release, Enthusiasm. It's the debut album from this Polish electro-industrial band. And, well, how do you feel about your release? It's been out since May 28th, is that correct?
Yes, it's few days, so
Still fresh.
yes, still fresh. We are very enthusiastic, like enthusiastic. We were working on this album about 1 year, and we know each other from 1 year. So it was, the end of our journey, musical journey, and so it's cool, really.
By the way, impressive collection of CDs in the background there. That's
Yes, it's my husband, outstanding wall, so always do it everything in this background. So
nice. So, Enthusiasm is full of deep layered synth work and pulsating bass and rhythms, and reminds a little bit of Depeche Mode, Trent Reznor, and Gary Newman. In fact, there's a cover of In Your Room by Depeche Mode. Are they a great influence to you?
I think we start from the Trent Reznor because it's our common space of music. But yes, the Depeche Mode is also a great part of our musical history. But we are the two different persons, so this was the common space, but we have also the other spaces that we can listen to the other type of music. For me, it's more industrial, like Einstürzende Neubauten, for example. And for Wojtek, it's more like Front 242 or Clock DVA. So we just found some place common and do some music together.
That's cool. So you have a strong domestic following. Did you decide to do a small number of tracks in English to appeal to a wider audience?
No, I usually sing in Polish, and write lyrics in Polish because lyrics are very important to me, and I don't. I think that I can't say everything like I would do in other language than in Polish. I am also after the study. I studied journalism, so I like to play with the words, and I don't know other languages as good as I could do it. We have 3 songs, maybe on Enthusiasm. There are 3 songs in English. First was the Changing My Mind, and we released it. We was invited to the project made by FAT. It is the label from Bristol, and they was working on the project Poland Has a Task. And we thought that it would be better to sing in English because it's a British label. And we have the Toxic and In Your Room. It's covers, so it was in English written, so I sing. And I love covers because I don't have to write the lyrics, and I have no stress that it's something not good. Just sing what the other wrote.
So since Enthusiasm is an album, do you have a favorite track that you wanna display to the whole world here?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think that this Enthusiasm is quite patchwork album because it gathered all the songs we were recording during this year, and this year was a year of searching and founding and not founding the common way of music. So I was very afraid that it won't match all together, and I hope it's match at all. Every of this song reminds me the different time of our cooperation, and I don't know which is the best. I will choose and say that is one. I think. I think the Drum in Love is one of. It was the first drum part that when Wojtek sent it to me, I heard, yes, it is. This is it. Yes, and I think the Drum in Love, the drum in Nieznaczenie. And Fears, I think Fears was also cool. I haven't do anything during the Fears. Wojtek made it by himself, and it was the all lyrics written by him. So I just sitting, sing, and cutting the video, and not doing anything. But I like it really.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and listen to a clip of yours from Enthusiasm. Don't let me butcher this. Nieznaczenia.
Nieznaczenia.
Okay,
something that hasn't mattered.
Okay, thanks for the correction. We're gonna listen to that then.
Noszę się, lewituję, utknęłam w nieładzie, wiszę w próżni, nie myślę, nie czuję, utknęłam w nieładzie.